Hello and welcome to another video of 3D Make It All. My name is Jasper and today I'm going to show you how you can install and set up Octoprint for the first time. Let's make it all.
Be strong.
Okay, so we are going to install Octoprint on our Raspberry Pi. First off, we need to download some things. The first thing we're going to download is Octoprint, the Octoprint image. Go to octoprint.org and click on download. You come to the download page where you can download the latest version, compatible with all devices of the Raspberry Pi. There's also a guide on how to set up Octopi. I talk about using Etcher. Well, I like to use Raspberry Pi Imager instead. So go to raspberrypi.org, go to software, and here we have the Raspberry Pi Imager, which we are going to download for Windows. So once the files are downloaded, we can insert our SD card into the computer and start writing the image to the SD card. So make sure you have installed the Raspberry Pi Imager. And start up the Raspberry Pi Imager. Well, the Raspberry Pi Imager has lots of cool images and files you can install on the Raspberry Pi. It would be worth it to check them out, but we are going to use our own file we just downloaded. And then we are going to select the SD card. You can see that it is 32 gigabytes. Well, I use at least the 16 gigabyte one, because you need to run all kinds of plugins, and you also want to have a lot of G-code files on it. So more memory would be better. Sometimes when you've already installed another image to the SD card, it sets it at a couple hundred megabytes instead of all the gigabytes it sets on the SD card. Well, if you wanna format the card, then it won't work. It will just say you can format it to a few hundred megabytes. So there's an option for this. We made a video on this earlier. So if you have that issue, you can watch that video and easily fix it within a couple of minutes. So we're going to write the image. Then click yes, and then it will write to the SD card. So we have finished writing the file to the SD card, and now we can continue with installing and setting up the Octoprint image. Since I have a Raspberry Pi 4, I need to enable the camera. So the Octoprint image has been written to the SD card. The SD card is inside the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi is powered on, and there is an internet cable inside the Raspberry Pi, so I can connect to it. You need to find the IP address of your Pi. You can find it if you go to your router and check the connected devices. I already know my IP address. You need to log in using the standard username and password, which is Pi, and the password is Raspberry. Alright, so we're inside the Raspberry Pi. You can also connect with octopi.local. You need to remember the IP address so you can get inside the Octoprint user interface. Okay, once you're inside, you want to type sudo raspi config Then you need to type the Raspberry password, which is Raspberry. Oh damn, I made a mistake. Alright, so we're inside the Raspberry Pi configuration tool. Here you want to enable the Pi camera module, yes. And I'm also going to set up the wireless internet. So the wireless internet is also fixed. Now you can escape out of this and shut it down. Sudo shut down -h. What I'm going to do now. You could type sudo shutdown -h. That will shut down the Pi within a minute. It's kind of a planned shutdown, and this shuts it down now right away. So we can X out of this, and now we can connect the Raspberry Pi to our printer and start it up again. Alright, to enter the web interface of your Octoprint instance, you need to type in your IP address in the web browser. Then it says Octoprint is loading. You have a setup wizard you need to go through, make an account and set up a password. I have no backup, so you need to make an account. So the account is only for looking into the web interface. So anyone who would have your IP address still couldn't log in and control your printer and mess around with it. So you don't need anonymous tracking. Activity. So here you need to set up your printer. Right, so we have finished setting up the Octoprint instance. There's a webcam, temperature page, G-code viewer, terminal, all kind of stuff. You can connect to the printer if your USB is in the Raspberry Pi. And you can upload some G-code files. You can print them with just one click. Thanks for watching. You are now able to remote control your printers from your Raspberry Pi using Octoprint, which is a neat little program. You should really try it out. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Catch you later.